Okay, the meeting is live.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Hawaii State Board of Psychology's publicly noticed meeting. We are first going to show a brief video on how you can participate in this hybrid meeting.
Welcome to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
When the meeting begins momentarily, the chair will take a roll call, explain any specific rules for this particular board, and then move to public comment. The name of the board member will appear on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. For instance, this is board member Y, and this is board member E. Public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. You can indicate that you are ready to testify by clicking on the Raise Hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Internet access. To view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link at the top of the agenda. You will be asked to enter your name. The board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You will also be asked for an email address. You may fill in this field with any entry in an email format, for example, doe@gmail.com. Your microphone will automatically be muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about that agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone. When recognized by the chairperson, please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. Phone access. If you cannot get internet access, you may get audio-only access by calling the phone number listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you will be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. After entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to either enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. You will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering star and then 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering star and then 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing star and then 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter star and then 6 again to mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you will be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. If connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specific date and time. This information can be found on the board's website. Instructions to attend the State of Hawaii virtual board meetings may be found online as well on the board's website and/or the state calendar. If you wish to submit written testimony on any agenda item, please email your testimony to psychology@dcca.hawaii.gov or by hard copy mail to Attention Board of Psychology, P.O. Box 3469, Honolulu, Hawaii 96801. We request submission of testimony at least 24 hours prior to the meeting to ensure that it can be distributed to the members of the board. Thank you, Vice
Am I-
Chair.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'll call each member's name so we may confirm quorum. Members, please state present, and if you are alone or with others, I guess that's for those who are virtual. Dr. Don Keith Pedro,
Present, and I'm the only one in my office.
Dr. Jun Ching,
Sorry, we didn't hear. Okay.
I'm present in the boardroom.
thanks. Dr. Jeffrey Stern,
Present.
and I, Vice Chair Olivera Kabab, am present and alone in my office. So with at least 4 members present, we meet quorum, and I'll now call the meeting to order. The time is 12:43. And we'll move on to our next agenda item, number 2, review and approval of board meeting minutes. Turn your attention to sub-item meeting minutes of November 3rd, 2023. Is there any testimony from the public on this item?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Members, is there any discussion or changes to the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
I second the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually did have some changes. Sorry, I was just giving folks a chance to go first. So, I would, on page 5, paragraph 3, there are just some, again, some typos, but a whole sentence that didn't make sense to me. Paragraph 3.
Page 5 only has, I mean, it doesn't have anything except for people's signature.
Yeah, the executive session minutes is what you're referring to, and I also have changes for that, but this is just the meeting minutes, or are we actually looking at both simultaneously?
Oh, so they should be separate. Let me see here.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought it was all one. Wait a second. It says minutes of meeting and then executive session.
I think it's the same, it's attached to the same meeting
I do.
minutes of November 3rd, 2023, page 2, executive session, page 3, and I think you're referring to page 5, page 4, and then page 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
page 4, page 5. I even have a page 6.
Yeah.
So-
Right, but I think you're referring to page
There-
5, Dr. Olive.
There should be, sorry, there should be 7 pages to the document, and it should be just
Oh, I
the executive session.
Okay, executive session, okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
executive.
not executive, sorry. Sorry, open session.
Open session only has, in what I have in front of me, 5 pages. The last page
Oh.
has a signature of Christopher and Shafin.
Okay, so that might be the incorrect copy. I apologize about that. Is anybody in the conference room with a laptop that can go into the S drive for a copy so they can review?
Oh, I can use the link. One moment.
Right,
Okay.
the one that we have is dated 6/14/23. On the
Yeah,
bottom.
sorry, that's the incorrect version. Chair, I believe you have the correct copy. Do you want to go through those corrections for us?
Sure. Okay.
correction for the executive session? Or for
Um,
the,
So, just to be clear, we didn't, I did all but one of the applications from November 3rd in the exec session. And because they weren't prepared, I did not pass them out to members. What happened possibly is that we just got the wrong hard copy out in office. So the one that's in the OneDrive is correct. That is the open meeting minutes. The executive session, I'll request that we will do the November 3rd and this meeting's executive session meeting minutes review at the February meeting in a couple weeks.
Christopher, do you mind putting the OneDrive link in the Teams chat?
Yes, just one
Thank you.
second.
DCCA guest.
Oh, I gotta go into Teams here on my virtual desktop. Just one second.
So only I saw these minutes. So we can't vote on them.
What you can do, Chair, is you can defer the approval of these meeting minutes to the next meeting. They'll be posted on the board's website as a draft until that time. That way the board has ample time to review. For the purposes of this meeting and getting orientation, there should be enough information there, though.
Based on one of my edits, I would like it not to be posted until we can officially approve them. That's okay.
I have to post them, the draft. I can correct those mistakes, though.
Okay. So should I go over that now?
Well, you could, like I said, you can say that the meeting minutes, there was a, I guess you can go over that. Yes, sorry.
Okay. It's just three, well, one's kind of big, but all right, page 5, third paragraph, 5th line of the 3rd paragraph, there's like a double that, and then I don't know if that sentence adequately expressed what you were trying to express, or it's not clear. So it said he added that, so there's a 2 that's. Board was currently limited to asking certain things. And whether the program adhered to the standards if it is not APA accredited or not. I don't know, it was just not very clear. So I wasn't sure if there were some other edits to be made in the latter part of that sentence too.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this link over to Juliet, but I'm gonna take a pause so I can look at what you're saying.
On page 5, correct?
Right.
Is that, and I'm sorry, can you repeat
Can you
again
show-
what part you're
Drop it in
referring
the
to? Jill?
I'm unable to see it.
Yeah, page 5 under the degree requirements, that section A there,
Yes.
the 3rd paragraph,
Uh-huh.
midway down. So the sentence starting with he added, says he added that, so there's a good second that could be deleted, but then that sentence is I think it's not grammatically correct. It doesn't make sense.
Should be he added that the board was currently,
Limited to asking certain things and whether the program adhered to the standards of APIC.
Yeah, I think that I think I I dropped the board, the word board.
Whether the program adhered to standards.
but he added that the board was currently limited. Right, so instead of two dots, one of the second dot should be the.
Yes.
Okay, but that sentence seems unclear. Is that what you're suggesting?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, that was Christopher's sentence. So if he thinks it's fine, then that's fine. But definitely with that changing the that to the and then just kind of looking at that sentence. I don't know if there was another edit that needed to be made, or if it's fine by you, Christopher. I guess it's okay.
Yeah, sorry, what was meant by that sentence was correct, like what you were saying, that that should be and they the limitations I was referring to were the
It might read better if he added
Oh,
that the
sorry.
board is currently limited to asking whether the program.
So the last or of that sentence should be is. I apologize. So it should read, he added that the board was currently limited to asking certain things and whether the program adhered to the standards of APPIC. If it is not APA accredited, is not.
Is not something that we can ask.
Correct, sorry.
Not.
That doesn't make sense.
Can I kind of interject with the point of, I guess, information? I'm not able to access the minutes, so I'm not in a position to approve. I'm in a position to abstain. I can't access the minutes. So is that going to be a hindrance? Should we just postpone this until approving it at the beginning of next meeting?
No, it doesn't affect anything. Is that correct, Andrew? As long as they're posted on the board's website, in
yeah, they're gonna
draft
have to be
form, then
they're gonna have to be posted, but since Dr. Stern doesn't have the minutes, can't vote on.
He was not present at the meeting. Does that change that?
Yeah, I mean you're gonna need quorum to vote
Yeah.
on it anyway.
He can still vote even if he's not present, right? Andrew, is that not correct?
What do you mean vote if he's not? Oh yes, he can still
Oh,
vote
not
if he was
present.
not present. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is just a draft will be posted because the board has not yet approved the meeting minutes. So only a draft is gonna be posted.
Right. Well, I just have one more thing.
Yeah, sure.
In the next paragraph there's another typo. It says why that the board was limited. So we take out the that. The vice chair, Oliver Kabat, requested clarification why the board was limited. So there's extra that in that one too. And then two more paragraphs down, it says Vice Chair Oliver Kabab argued that the board has a responsibility. And I feel like argued is a strong word, and maybe we typically don't have that word in our minutes. We usually say discussed or stated or opined, and
I could change it to opine. Sorry, I was trying to find a word, but based on my notes, I assumed that what you had provided was an argument in a not in a argue matter, but as in a making a claim. So I think opined, I can change it to that, sure.
okay.
Because I think that's more what I meant, sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's just, that word's not come up in our minutes before. It's like, whoa, I don't think I did that, or I wasn't being argumentative. I just was having a.
No.
Okay, that's all I had for the whole thing.
But I still have
Okay.
trouble with the last sentence, because even with the word changing, it doesn't make sense to me. The one he added that the board was currently limited. I don't know the essence of that question. I'm still, I mean,
Which part of it, are you talking about the first edit that she brought up?
well, he added that the board was currently limited to asking certain things. I didn't know what things was referring to, and whether the program adhere to the standards of APIC, comma, if it is not APIC accredited or not. So it seems like it's a run-on, and I'm not sure what all the references are to.
Okay. So for the purposes of understanding at this meeting, the point I was trying to write into this was that at that point I was stating that the board can ask certain things that are based off the rules and the statutes. For example, the date range, the hours, the credentials of the supervisor. And then the board asks for a brief summary, which really isn't within the rules or the statutes. It's just a way of trying to get a little bit more information. But outside of that, for example, asking if they adhere to APPIC standards is not something within the rules or the statutes that the board could provide for or could use for support in doing that. Does that make sense?
Somewhat, but not entirely.
Okay.
So in essence, were you saying that the board has limitations because of the way that the statutes were written, and
correct,
and the need to adhere to the statutes, but the board would benefit from inquiring about standards similar to that of APIC, and I didn't know what meant for if it is not APIC accredited or not.
Sorry. The last or should be an is. So so it basically it's a bad sentence. I apologize.
I'm wondering if there could just be two sentences, that one to reflect that the limitations that the board currently have with the current statutes, and that it might be beneficial to review the standards of APIC to assist the board in its deliberations.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
I can do that.
Good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole topic is an ongoing discussion point as part of our rules changes, I think, so we'll get back to it. Okay, so how do we move on from here? Since we're not voting on it, we don't have to.
You can defer the matter.
Okay.
And then you can move on to the next item.
Okay, do I need a vote to defer it? No. Okay. All right. So we're deferring approval of meeting minutes, November 3rd, 2023. And now moving on to our next agenda item for applications for board review. Is there any testimony from the public on this matter?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Hearing none, I motion to, do I have to read this whole paragraph?
Yes, please.
Okay. Motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statutes sections 92-5A1 and 92-5A4 to consider and evaluate personal information relating to individuals applying for professional or vocational licenses cited in section 26-9 or both, and to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities. Can I get a second?
I second the motion. Vice Chair.
Thank you. Keith, second. When I call your name, please confirm your vote to move into executive session with a yes, and that you are alone at your present location if you're virtual. Dr. Stern, or what do I do?
Sorry, I put you first.
Oh, I, Dr. Alvaro Kebab, vote yes to enter into executive session, and I am alone. Dr. Pedro,
Yes, and I'm alone.
Dr. Ching,
Yes, I'm present in the boardroom with the other board members.
Dr. Stern,
Yeah, yes.
support staff, please also confirm you are alone. Executive Officer Fernandez,
Yes, I am here and alone in my room. You can skip the others since they are in. Oh, sorry, Dad Kim. Sorry.
Hi, Kim.
Yes, I'm a president. I'm alone.
Okay. How about Secretary Kililikane?
Hi, present and in the boardroom.
Okay. The board will now move into executive session. Members, please turn off your video and audio feeds for Zoom before moving over to Teams.
Are we on this? Are we on this? Are we on here now?
Hey Keith.
Hi, are we here now?
I just got done texting you.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, um, I got a reverb.
Would it be on Zoom, Chris, or on Okay.
Hello. All right. Are we all back? Everybody back?
Chair, can you do a quick roll call vote? Not vote, but just a roll call, just to check and make sure everybody is still what their status is as far as alone or not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a roll call. Members, please state present and if you're alone or with others. Dr. Don Keith Pedro,
Present and alone in my office.
Dr. June King,
Present here in the boardroom with staff and Dr. Stern.
okay, Dr. Jeffrey Stern,
Present in the boardroom with staff and Dr. Ching. That's role modeling.
and I, Vice Chair Oliver Kabab, am present and alone in my office. All right, so can I get a motion for the following board determinations? I'll do it. Okay, we are deferring the first nominee for examination, Tara Sanderson. For ongoing submittance to the board of her postdoctoral hours.
I motion.
Oh, we're gonna do it at the end.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah, we have a full bunch, right?
we're gonna do them together, got it.
All right, and second applicant, Stephanie Campbell, approval. Rose Friedhelm, approval. Devin Ewan, approval. Felicia Anderson, approval. Moving on to examination waiver applicants, Heather Johnson, defer. Megan Politz, defer. Arlene Unger, approved as senior psychologist. Joy Kawamura, approved. Kristen Nozawa, approved. Brooke Smith, approved. Brianne Martin, defer with request for verification from her psychology or doctoral program that it is a APA approved program in clinical psychology pursuant to HAR 16-98-2 and Hawaii Statute 465-7A1A. And on to National Register applicant Kathleen Mayers, approved. Can I get a motion and a second?
Just a point of information, I didn't quite hear you. Did you mention Rose Evelyn Friedheim in that list?
I did, sorry, but I didn't say Evelyn. I just said Rose Friedheim.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, move.
Okay, moved by Dr. Ching,
I'll second it.
seconded by Dr. Stern. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. All right. Board determinations passed.
For the record, and please note that I'm affiliated with candidate Rose Evelyn Friedheim and feel like I will not be in any way, or I have not been affected by that relationship in making a determination in this case as to her appropriateness for this next step of taking the licensing exam.
And then for the record, if the board can just say that if they have no objections to that.
For the record. Oh,
No
the
No
board
objection.
does not have any objections.
Thank you.
Yep, for the record, no objections. Dr. Keith need to make that.
Yes, no objections.
And then Dr. Keith, if you could keep your video on. Thank you.
All right, so moving on to the next agenda item, legislation and training standards and requirements for licensure. So this involves the board continuing to discuss licensing and training standards for psychologists. Also wanting to address the upcoming state legislative session in regard to this subject matter and potential bills that will affect licensure requirements and standards of practice. Is there any testimony from the public on this matter?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
All right, thank you, Johnny. How does, Christopher, do you have any ideas on how to proceed on this one? Do we have any?
Sure. So what I was just going to do is bring up that legislative session is going to be starting here in about a week. That will be the beginning of bill introduction. At the close of bill introduction, which will be, I believe, like the last Wednesday of the month, I'll be able to file the agenda for the next week's meeting. And that way, you all will have all the bills that would be related to the board of the practice of psychology. This is related to the discussion from last time with regard to training standards and requirements. I think this is a carryover session, so as long as a legislator introduces the bills from last session, we will probably see them again. So that would involve the provisional license bill, joint bill with MFTs and mental health counselors.
Social workers.
This would also, it includes the social workers too, sorry. And so that was the provisional license bill. There's also, more than likely, we would probably see the SIPACT compact bill again. And outside of that, I'm not really sure as far as like the prescriptive authority bill, as far as the bill or any kind of thing related to what the board has been doing with definitions or changes. So we didn't get an admin bill in this year, so there wouldn't be anything like that. The last thing I'll just note is that at the February meeting, the idea is to look over those bills. Hopefully I am able to speak with the legislative committee prior to that meeting. And then that's pretty much what I got planned to be prepared for the session. I will bring the testimony from that all the bills ended with from last session to the next meeting as well. So the committee will have it beforehand, but then the board will also have it at the meeting. And then that'll allow you to kind of get that back on track on there. Feel free to go on the legislative website before then to look at stuff. It's really a great website. It's really easily accessible as far as looking up bills and where they're at as far as in the process. Yeah, if you have any other questions about session, just please, let me know. I'll try and get answers for everybody as we move along.
I have a quick question, if I may, or a couple. First one is, when will all the bills be posted? I don't want to necessarily go on and then find out that something was posted after I checked initially. What's the deadline for bills to be posted this session?
That would be, like I said, I believe it's the last Wednesday of the month. They did, I believe, post the calendar on the public access rooms website. Let me look it up real quick so I can give you the specific date.
Thank you.
While you're doing that, it'd probably be a good time for us to reach out to HPA's legislative committee. Are there any board members that are on that committee? You?
Yes, I am an active member of that committee.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Do you have any information about HPA's priorities or how they might be lining up with?
HPA's priority is the associate licensure bill because it's getting a lot of support from Della Al-Baladi and others. I think that one has the most momentum of the different pieces.
The associate one. Right?
Yeah, the provisional licensure, associate licensure legislation. I think that there's still a lot of priority being put on making sure our scope of services is protected. So, like, for example, the school psychologist wanting to get licensure we don't know where that's at. We haven't heard anything about it, but there's a possibility that they're gonna throw another bill in there and try to get in under the Board of Psychology and ask for 2 members to be added to the Board of Psychology as they have in the past. So I just want us all to be prepared for that possibility. And
Right.
address it.
Mhm.
And then I think our other priorities are unchanged from previous years. We're the other bill that's being supported is related to entry-level psychologists or psychologist positions and encouraging and increasing the salary that's being offered for those psychologists. Because they're having a hard time recruiting. But I think that's too much.
RXP would be the other one, because they
Yes.
just conducted the HPA survey, and those were the 3 top interests in terms of the members, right?
Right.
The associate.
RXP is still number 2,
licensure.
3, although it's still somewhat
Yeah.
mixed, but for the most part, only I think less than 5% of the respondents said that they're.
I think did we just lose quorum? Do we still have Dr. who we're missing someone, right?
Yeah, Keith, he's
Where did Keith
gone.
go?
I think
Did we
he
just
thought
lose
that
him?
voting was complete, so he said he was gonna leave. I said, you need to announce that you're leaving.
Okay, I mean, if he's not coming back, then the meeting can end.
I'll see if he can, I'll
I
swing
don't
him.
know.
Okay, what does that mean then? We should stop discussion or?
Yes, stop discussion.
Yeah, we have to stop.
Okay, well, you just cut off mid-sentence in the notes, and that's fine. I'm okay with it.
We got the gist of it.
That
We
just is
did.
there, yes, it is.
Yeah. That's top 3 to anticipate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Well, okay, so I'm gonna go with just prior to you, Andrew, questioning. That would be the start of like 20 minutes. If he is gonna come back. Oh, Candice is asking to to talk, so I'm gonna bring her in.
Who can it?
The supervisor.
Yeah. Hi, Candice, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay.
So, is he gonna be able to come back? Can you guys call him and ask him to come back to the meeting if you need to finish?
Yeah, I'm trying to call him right now.
We were forewarned that he might have to leave to address court responsibilities.
But he should let us know though.
Did you notice what that means? 246. Yeah, we waved on camera.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Chris, you're on mute if you're talking.
Oh, sorry about that. So because we lost quorum, we have to stop. We can wait, I believe, we have 20 minutes to reestablish the meeting. If we can't do that, then we'll have to just end the meeting. So I'm trying to get a hold of him in the meantime, see if we can get him back. If he can't, then we will just have to end.
I don't know if he's confused. In the past, I think he felt like we needed quorum just for voting. Days, and if we were done with voting, then we didn't need to have quorum.
Then he
I
was
think
gonna
that's-
be out.
Yeah.
Okay. So is your impression he is done for the meeting?
Well, I did try to text him that we need him to come back. But he hasn't responded.
So.
Right.
You need quorum in order to.
Yeah, with all meetings, we have to keep and maintain
Just for the
quorum.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
We missed lunch today. And then we both did. I would have liked to see John. What's his license number, John? Do you know?
All right. As far as just letting you guys know, like I didn't reach out to the legislative committee, since I can do that, at least.
Which legislative
we need
committee?
to-
Ours or HPA?
Yeah. So you, Sherry, and June,
Okay.
right? That's where it's at. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll have
what
to
are
reach out.
you are gonna reach out to the HP Legislative Committee?
Oh,
No,
I can do, well, I can do that too. I mean, I can reach out to them, but I can also reach out to you guys. So the legislative committee for the session, and we can do a little bit more additional planning. I believe that you guys, right? You guys have the meeting scheduled for 12:30 to 3, right? That's the typical time, but we usually make it till 4:30 at the end of the day because we can, just in case there's a, you know,
It's been ending up earlier, or people have been cutting up and or leaving.
right. The meeting used to be 12 to 1 was like apps review, and then it was 1 to 4 for the meeting, but it was so late into people's clinical time or with their therapy sessions that we bumped it up as far as we could. So I think it ended it's 12:30 to 3. So we're kind of already at 3 anyways. But unfortunately, the discussion for that agenda item had not been completed.
Yeah, I think we need to maybe just state that on our agenda as 12 to 3 and just kind of start sticking to that. 12:30, sorry, yeah, 12:30 to 3.
I think the agendas only may provide the start time. But yeah, I think on the online on the board's website, it does give an end time. I think is 3.
Okay.
Even be 3.
So are we still meeting, but technically not actually meeting?
Right now, we have no meeting established because we've lost quorum. So we had 20 minutes to try and reestablish that quorum so that we can move forward. But if we cannot, then we will have to end the meeting and then just bump that agenda item onto the next meeting, which is already going to happen.
Understood. Follow-up question is the implication that we can't really talk about anything because of that?
Correct, because you guys, you can talk with one other board member about a subject, but 3 would be that would be too high, and that's why we have to do like the PIG groups, and yeah.
But so when
Do I need to formally adjourn the meeting?
Reported then. This is.
It is.
It is. This was the remote.
Do I need to formally adjourn the meeting?
If you feel that he's not going to get back in time, then yeah, it might just be what you need to do. We'll mark the time and what information when we saw him leave the feed. Hopefully it was just minutes before. I unfortunately had a document in front of my view, so yeah. So whatever up until the point we lose connection with him on the video, that's what we can enter into the minutes and what would be considered board discussion. Everything else will have to
We only got 2 minutes into discussion, so it was either shortly before or right after Dr. Stern was making his last statement.
Okay.
Like I said,
that's good.
That's how it is.
That's good. All right.
All right, well.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's continue some discussion on our legislative committee, and the rules committee. I had some ideas about stuff there.
Okay.
So we can keep making progress.
Am I allowed to ask just an informational question about boards in general?
Yes, yeah, it's as long as it's not content based on the agenda.
No, nothing
If
related.
it's an administrative question, you can ask real quick, but if you want, you can always talk with me after the meeting.
I think it's relevant to everybody. That has to do with outside
Okay.
members, and do a lot of boards have difficulty retaining outside members to make quorum?
Right. So I just wanted to make sure that, Chair, did you end the meeting?
Not yet.
Did you adjourn the meeting?
No.
Because then,
I can do that. I just thought you guys were saying it was when Keith left is pretty much when the meeting got adjourned.
yeah, that's you can just mark that as the adjournment point when we lost quorum.
Okay, okay. So with no further matters for the board on the agenda, I bring this meeting to a close when that happened.
Retroactive closure, I like it.
Closure.
And Dr. Stern, I will just add, I can talk with you afterwards, but I can also add that on to an agenda if it's something that can be brought up again.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is a difficult problem, but thank you guys for attending.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Folks. I will see you soon, though, on the 2nd, right? Is our next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope your kids feel better, Christopher.
Yes.
I hope they stay. That's the hardest part.
Yeah, that's right. Just passing it back and forth, right?
Yeah.
The ones.
Okay, we have to stop the video.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.